Okay, so we have this one. So this one's a similar graph. So right now what I want you to do is draw the graph, sketch the graph. Use the calculator or do it by hand. Doesn't matter to me, but I get a picture. Get a picture so we can draw on it because this is important to draw on it, okay? So let's take a look at the graph. It's the same, similar graph to what we did earlier. So it's not gonna be anything new. It's still a parabola and lines, straight lines. But what we do with it is a little different. Let's see. Y equals 2. Oh, yeah, she said tomorrow she's coming in.
Easy enough then.
Yeah, she told me yesterday.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Thanks. Oh. Okay, so again, similar graph. The blue and the black are similar. The new part is the red, x equals 7, right? So x equals 7, that's the revolution, the axis of revolution, right? So now we have an axis of revolution that's not a horizontal line. It's a vertical line. So we're going to revolve this way, right? Revolving this way. This is dy. So it's going to be a dy situation, okay? So let's set up volume equals pi big R squared minus little r squared, and this one's dy. Okay? I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. I'm going to do the same thing that I did before, except now it's going to be, the line's going to be different, right? For this guy here, big R and little r were segments, vertical segments. Now they're going to be horizontal segments, okay? So always start at the axis of revolution, and then you're going to draw two segments. One that goes through the green, and one that stops right before the green. Okay. So it doesn't touch green. Okay. So before, we went top minus bottom, right? Top minus bottom. But we can't do top minus bottom now. So we're going to have to do what we did last time, or what we did in the last set of notes, which was right minus left. Right minus left. Okay? So let's go back to this guy. Where was it? There we go. Okay. Big R is always going to be the longer segment. Big R is always going to be the longer segment. Wait. All right. Let's see where we're at. Okay, so the longer segment is the top one. The right side is x equals 8. The left side is the parabola. The parabola is x squared, y equals x squared plus 1, right? When we write in x equals 7. Oh, it's supposed to be 7. Wait. Yep, you're right. This is supposed to be not 8, 7. Okay. It's dy. So we can't write any x's. The only letters, we can't write any y's in here. The only letters that can be in here are, the other way around. So we have 7 minus, this is not with respect to y. This guy right here is not with respect to y, it's with respect to x. So we have to solve for x. So I'm going to have to solve this guy for x. So I subtract 1, take the square root. Okay. All right. So we get root y minus 1. Root y minus 1. Okay. And then this guy, the other one, right minus left. Okay. Let's see. I did something wrong. I'm doing something wrong because, I know what I'm doing wrong. Because, watch, let's, I'm not going to say what I did wrong yet, but, so, right minus left. Which one is the right? For little r. 7 minus, which is the right? Or left, sorry. What should go here? Why is that a problem? Yeah, it's the same thing minus the same thing, right? It's 0. This can't be, right? There's actually going to be a figure. Why is it 0? I know what I did wrong. Why is it? How do I fix it? Part of it has to do with what I did here. Part of it has to do with this. Start with this. What's wrong with what I did here? I made a mistake. What was the mistake that I made? Take a look at it. What's the mistake that I made?
For this one, it would actually be positive or negative.
I took the square root when I'm solving, so it's got to be plus or minus, right? That's the mistake I made first. The second mistake I made is, when is it positive, when is it negative? One side of this is going to be positive and one side is going to be negative. This side is either going to be positive, this side is either going to be negative. So we have to decide, because one dot hits this side, the other dot hits this side, right? So we have to determine which one is going to be positive and which one's going to be negative. Well, to do that, you just plug in a point, right? 1, 1, 1, 2. 1, 2 is on this side. So if I were to plug in 1 for x and 2 for y, I don't need the negative. That's the positive. The positive would be the one to make the right answer. So this side here is the positive side. This side here is the negative side. So let's go back to this guy. This segment touches the negative side. So big R needs the negative in front. And the other R doesn't need the negative in front. Now they're not the same. Now this one is adding, they're conjugates of each other. One is plus, one is minus. Okay? The bounds are still the same. The bounds are still exactly the same. Here to here, -1 to +1. Okay? So now we put it into our calculator and see what we get. -1. Squared. Squared. Okay. Was I did something? Oh, I know what I did wrong. But I can't wait. Let's see. I'm not sure what I did to get the. I probably put a parentheses in the wrong spot or put a squared in the wrong spot. Yes.
Aren't the bounds 1 to 2 because it's a y?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's why it's not making any sense. Thank you. Yeah, because it's a y. I totally forgot about that. Thank you. The bounds are going to be from here to here. So it's 1 to 2. Yeah, that's why my answer wasn't making any sense. Thank you. So the bounds are 1 to 2. So let's see if it allows me to go change the bounds. There we go. Times pi. Completely forgot about that. With respect to y, so the bounds need to be 1 to 2. And then multiply times pi, 58.643. 58.643. Okay. All right. So what I want you to do now is I want you to do problem 6, example 6. Example 6 has 3 parts to it. Okay? 3 parts to it. Okay? Same graph for all of them, but they ask you different questions about it. All right? So do example number 6. I'll give you some time, and then we'll go over it. I'll write down the answers here so you can check as you go. Okay, so I'm going to start to go over them. If you're not done, it's okay. Keep working, but I'm just going to start to go over them. A, there is no big R and little r. It's just radius because all of the red, there is no area where the red, there's a gap. Even if you try to draw an R, capital R, and a little r, you won't be able to. You'll just be able to draw one. That's the one we want. Top minus bottom. Okay. Letter B. Letter B is a revolution going the other way. The axis is the y-axis. So we draw, extend it. R is the longer segment in orange, and little r is the shorter segment in orange. Big R is 2 minus 0 because it extends from x equals 2 to x equals 0. Little r extends from this to this. So this is y equals 2x squared. But I can't write it like that because it's with respect to x. So I have to write it with respect to y. So you have to solve for x. It's plus and minus, but since this is the positive side, I only need the positive one. And then minus 0. Okay. And then the last one is back to a revolution this way. So we have big R extends from the blue down to the bottom of the red. Little r extends from the blue to right before the red. So big R is 8 minus 0. Little r is 8 minus 2x squared. And this one you can write like that because this one is with respect to x. It's dx. Okay? The bounds, I didn't write the bounds for any of them. The bounds for the first one, since it's dx, it's going to be 0 to 2. B, since it's dy, it's going to be from 0 to 8. 8 is where they cross here, where these two lines cross at y equals 8. So 0 to 8. Okay, and then the last one goes back to 0 over 2 because it's with it's dx, 0 to 2. Okay. All right. All right, so now what I want you to do is start on your assignment.